Hello, welcome to this your channel, the Better Eurofan. That's me. I'm sure you must be wondering, what is this new video about? Are there not going to be more song reviews from Eurovision and Junior Eurovision anymore? Go down, I'm going to explain. I was still doing my reviews as usual, but this video will be the start of a new series of videos in the channel, which I'll be calling it the Better Eurofan News. In this new series, I will make summary of the news week by week in the best way possible of what happens on both Eurovision and Junior Eurovision, because as it is true that the entries from the different countries have a more calm and deep analysis, it is also true that there are news and information throughout all the year. And certainly, as you know, Eurovision and Junior Eurovision are not limited to the live shows, but there is activity all the time. I will check out news referring to the hosting and production of both Eurovision and Junior Eurovision, to the national finals and internal selections done by each of the participating countries, and also to related events organized in Europe. I will also check out about new music released for the contestants from both editions, either from the current edition or from past editions, as well as teasers of the upcoming episodes that I will upload in the channel. Without further delay, let's begin with some of the headlines for this week. Luxembourg Song Contest entries revealed. The Central European country has revealed the contestants with their participating songs that will compete for the ticket to Malmö in their return to the contest after 31 years of absence. More details revealed for Dora 2024. After knowing the 24 competing entries for the Croatian national final, the broadcaster for the Balkan country has revealed more information ahead of the next edition of the show. 2 of the 7 entries for UNK 2024 revealed. After an intense campaign in both the Finnish broadcaster channels and social media with hints about the participating artists, the big 7 that will look for being carried as successor at the contest were finally revealed on last Wednesday. 2 of them were known last week. First, we go to France to know very sad news as the singer-songwriter Guy Bonnet dies at 78. Earlier this week, it was known that Guy Bonnet, the French representative for the contest in a couple of times, has passed away. Before participating himself representing the Gallic country, he had a first experience as a songwriter in 1968, having composed the song La Source, performed by singer Isabelle Aubert, who was also winner of the contest 6 years ago back in 1962, in the edition held in London, United Kingdom, where she reached the 3rd place in the final rank. Then in 1917, he would compete representing France with the song Marie Blanche, in the edition held in Amsterdam, Netherlands, where he tied in 4th place together with Switzerland and Spain. He would try it again 13 years later in 1983 with the song Vidbir in the edition held in Munich, West Germany, having reached the 8th place in that time. Beyond his participations at Eurovision, he was particularly well known in France for developing his musical career, singing and composing most of his repertoire in Provençal, a dialect originated from Occitan language, which nowadays is spoken by a minority of the population in southeastern France. Being hospitalized because of health issues, he will die during the night of January 7 in Montpellier. May he rest in peace. Now we go to Romania as the Netherlands has set to confirm its participation for Eurovision 2024. Last year we knew that the European Broadcasting Union was still in talks with the Romanian public broadcaster to confirm their participation or not in this edition, alleging that they were waiting for the approval of the new budget plan from the government to allocate the participation fee for the broadcaster, so they agreed exceptionally extend the deadline for the payment accordingly. A similar precedent happened exactly 10 years ago, back in 2014, when Slovenia finally confirmed their participation in mid-January during the edition held in Copenhagen, Denmark, after an exceptional extension deadline agreed by the EBU. Now, it was known during the middle of the last week that the EBU had set a deadline for a final decision by the broadcaster by January 22nd, We have to remind that at the end of this month, the semi-final allocation draw will take place. And they will need to know if they finally confirm their participation or if they will withdraw for this year. So we will know in the coming days if there will be 37 or 38 countries participating in Malmö. Checking out the national finals and internal selections, we first go to Latvia, as the Supernova 2024 artists and songs were revealed. The Latvian public broadcaster has revealed on last Tuesday the 15 competing entries that will compete in Supernova this year, that will be in the race to get the ticket for Malmö on next May. From the list stands out the participation of Silia Kapsis, known for being the lead singer of Triana Park, who represented the country in 2017 in the edition held on Kiev, Ukraine, who is this time giving a try as a soloist. While many are still questioning the continuity of the format, given the poor results achieved in the contest, the broadcaster is still trusting international final as usual. We will see during the time the next Latvian representative breaks the backstreet the country has been having on the last decade. Luxembourg Song Contest entries revealed. Earlier this week, we were finally knowing the 8 contestants that will participate on the very first edition of the Luxembourg Song Contest, marking the return of the Central European country after 31 years of absence. With this national final, the first one they organize in their story, they pretend to make a triumphal comeback to the contest and retake its position as a Eurovision superpower, taking into account that it is one of the most successful countries in the contest with 5 wins in their record, in case you have forgot. In a few days, we will know who will have the chance to be the next Luxembourgish representative in more than 3 decades, so we have to be pretty attentive. More details revealed for Dora 2024 in Croatia. Earlier this month, we knew that the 24 contestants that will compete on the next edition of Dora, which is taking more relevance during the Eurovision season. Now, during the last week, the Croatian public broadcaster has revealed more details for the format for this year. In one hand, the semi-finals will make a comeback after more than a decade. 2 semi-finals will be held on February 22nd and 23rd, where 12 entries will compete in each semi-final, and the top 6 from each one will qualify to the final show to be held on February 25th. In the other hand, unlike past editions, this year they are leaving Opatija, where the national final was traditionally held, moving on to the broadcaster studios in the Croatian capital, Zagreb. With these changes, the broadcaster pretends that the national final becomes an annual event to showcase the best of the Croatian musical scene, following a similar strategy implemented in some of the national finals across Europe. In this case, if they succeed in becoming established, they will need to think about finding a bigger venue, as it happened with Finland, who have decided to hold its national final this year on a stadium. It will be until then when we get to know who will be waving the Croatian flag on the main stage of Malmö. News from the Isle of Aphrodite, and it's because the Cyprus public broadcaster has revealed more details on its Eurovision proposal. Laia will be the name of the song that Silia Kapsis will be performing on Malmö, composed by the renowned Greek songwriter Dimitris Kontopoulos, with the lyrics in charge of the Dutch artist Elke Thiel. While there are no more details about the proposal, it was known that the production of the song was already done. Right now, she is in Los Angeles, United States, working on the staging, and the recording of the official music video on Cyprus will begin very soon. Everything points that we will know the Cyprus proposal between late February and early March. Now we go to Poland, as they have confirmed internal selection for Eurovision 2024. During the last weeks, we have been aware of the commotion happening in the core of the Polish public broadcaster, with all the changes of personnel and policies being done by the new Polish government recently established. So many concerns have been arising about the possibility of the participation of the country at the contest. But despite all that, Poland has not only confirmed its participation, but they will opt once again for an internal selection for their representative, opening the submission period at the same time for the Polish artists and songwriters who want to take part in the process. It will open until early February, so predictably, if nothing extraordinary happens. We will know in the coming weeks who will have the task of representing Poland this time. Eurosong 2024 entries revealed in Ireland. The Irish broadcaster has revealed in throughout the last week the 6 entries who are in the race to represent the country on Sweden. As it has been done in these recent years, the Irish representative will be chosen once again throughout the special edition of the Late Late Show, which will take place on late this month. So we have to pay attention and see if they finally break the bad streak they have been having in recent years, and go back to the glorious times in the contest like the ones they have enjoyed during the 1990s. Now we go to Belgium, as Mustii invites the public to participate in his proposal for Eurovision 2024. Last Thursday, the Belgian representative for the contest has made an interesting announcement. He has invited to the public in the recording of the pre-recorded backing vocals to be used in his proposal for Malmö. It is known that the recording and the production of the track is almost done, but he wants to give the final touch by adding a huge choir in the last part of the song. But this call will not last too long. Those who are interested in participating, they have until Wednesday, January 17th to send their audio tracks. With this, the Belgian delegation followed the same steps of the Icelandic one, when Dante Freya and X-Band Gannamagni launched a similar call in 2021 for their song 10 Years performed in Rotterdam, Netherlands. We will listen later the result of this big choir when Mustii finally releases his proposal on next February. 2 of the 7 entries for UNK 2024 revealed. After an intense campaign in both the Finnish broadcaster channels and in social media, with hints about the participating artists, the big 7 that will look for being Carriage's successor on the contest were finally revealed on last Wednesday. 2 of them were known last week with the release of the official music videos on Thursday and Friday respectively. First is the rock band Cyan Kings, who participated a couple of years ago, in which they tried to win the ticket to tour in Italy, and they were close on doing it, placing second overall, but still very far in the final score from the mythical band Erasmus, who ultimately won the national final. Then there is X-Man, one of the most relevant artists in the Finnish musical scene nowadays, which is going to try his luck in the national final, after his elder brother, fellow musician Isaac Singh, did it 2 years before. We will know the remaining 5 artists throughout this week. Vidbir 2024 entries revealed on Ukraine. Last year, we figured out who was the artist and song that was rescued by the public for the Ukrainian national final, thus becoming the 11th finalists. Then now, the preparations for Malmö are still underway in the Ukrainian public broadcaster, as they announced in last Thursday the 10 remaining artists will try to represent Ukraine on the Scandinavian country. The 11 artists will perform the proposals live in the final show to be held on February 3rd. News from Georgia, as Nutsa Buzaladze will fly to Malmö. After many rumors in the local media for the possible representatives for the contest, the Georgian public broadcaster was surprising on last Friday with the announcement of Nutsa Buzaladze as the Georgian representative that will travel to Malmö. Then the following day, it was also announced the opening of a submission period for the composers interested in sending their proposals, being open until the end of this month. The song to be performed by Nutsa on the main stage of Malmö will be chosen among the received proposals, predictably to be released on March as usual. Now we fly to Moldova, as auditions have been held in the Etapa Națională. The live auditions round took place on last Saturday, in which an expert panel appointed by the Moldovan public broadcaster have selected among 26 shortlisted artists to the 11 finalists, which were planned to be 10 at first, that will compete on the next edition of Etapa Națională to be held on next February. Among the finalists stands out the participation of Natalia Vargu, who represented Moldova back in 2007 in the edition held on Helsinki, Finland, who is trying it again to relive the Eurovision experience. We will know later if she finally makes it, following the steps of Pasha Parfeni, who came back to the contest for the second time on last year, or if another one of her contenders takes the baton. Premiere night in Lithuania with the first edition of Eurovizija.lt, which comes to succeed the previous national final Pavendon Nisnojo after 3 editions. The first of 5 semi-finals took place in last Saturday night, in which 8 contestants had competed for 2 spots in the final show. At the end of the night, after the votes from the jury and the public, both Sylvester Bird and Bibi Gannon qualified for the final show. Now they will wait for the upcoming 8 finalists coming from the remaining semi-finals, closing with a final show with 10 finalists, and one of those will gain the right of representing Lithuania on Malmö. Norway has kicked off on last Saturday the Melodi Grand Prix with its first semi-final, featuring 6 contestants that competed for 3 spots in the final show. Margaret Berger, who was the Norwegian representative 11 years ago casually on Malmö, has qualified for the final, while the other 2 qualifiers were Ingrid Jasmine and Gottminister. In addition to them, 6 more contestants will join them from the second and third semi-final, to complete the 9 finalists that will fight for the ticket in the neighboring Sweden. Talking about the Eurovision events across Europe, there are also news. On Spain, Raiven confirms its participation at the Barcelona Eurovision Party 2024. The organizers of the Barcelona Eurovision Party, which is arriving at its 3rd edition, have been since last year warming up the engines ahead of the artist lineup that will be featured on the 3 nights of concerts to be held on next April. In that matter, they have announced last Tuesday the very first Eurovision contestant that will participate in the final night of the Eurovision Party. Raiven, the Slovenian representative, has confirmed its presence in the event. With her, the artist lineup opens for this year's contestants, looking to break the mold from last year, in which 14 or 37 participating countries performed their proposals live to the public of the Spanish city. In Sweden, Aiko and Raiven confirmed participation at the Nordic Eurovision Party 2024. Last year, we heard the news of the arrival of a new Eurovision party, the Nordic Eurovision Party. This one, however, will have a difference unlike the existing Eurovision parties, as it will be held each year in a different Nordic country, which will be selecting at the same time the host city that will be holding the event as well. About the artists that will participate in this very first edition to be held in Stockholm, Sweden, matching with the host country for the contest this year. The organizers have announced last week that Aiko and Raiven, the Czech and Slovenian representatives respectively, are the first artists confirmed for the edition. It is expected confirmation on more artists in the coming weeks, while the rest of the representatives are known in the due time. And then we go to Denmark, as they have announced the Copenhagen Eurovision Party. Last Sunday, it was known that the Danish capital was joining in the lineup of the Eurovision parties. This year will take place the Copenhagen Eurovision Party for the very first time. For now, it is known that it will take place on the 4th of May, 1 week before the grand final of Eurovision, with the tickets being already on sale, while the artist lineup will be known in the coming weeks. For new music, and now we travel to Spain, as Chanel has finally released her first studio album, more than a year and a half later after her triumphal participation at Eurovision, achieving the highest score for Spain at the contest. Chanel was finally releasing on last Friday her debut studio album as a musical artist titled Agua. At the same time, she was also releasing the 5th single of the album, Ahora que no te tengo, featuring the Argentinian urban singer FNK. It has been a very anticipated musical work by her fans, not being exempt from controversies even after her participation in Eurovision, from the change of record label to the problems for the rise of the staging for slow-mo, which had a critical acclaim by the public. The song, by the way, could not be missing the album, as it could not be in other way. She will focus now on doing her promotional tour for Spain for sure, and who knows if she visits some European countries too, to promote this first very recording work from her. So we will have more news from her very soon. These were the news for the week. It seemed that the beginning of the year has been the selection processes in the different countries. So soon we'll be knowing and discovering new proposals that will be on the race for the crystal microphone on Malmö. Before leaving, don't forget to like, subscribe to my channel to be aware of the latest Eurovision news, as well as the next episodes I'll be uploading in the coming weeks. And you can also enable notifications and follow me through my social media. Take care and see you soon. Bye bye.